How you doing, troopers? So, oh no, man, this is gonna be another fucking Legends of Korra video. I've already got one started, but I'm actually trying to like properly edit it, and like, it's gonna be a dodgy job. But I was just thinking, and this is the problem. This annoys me. Like, I'm gonna be a bit honest with you guys, as people that watch my channel. I just mod Skyrim, I have a laugh, fucking, I do this, I do that. Um, and I've recently started watching Legends of Korra, and I've been saddened by it, man. For the last 3 weeks, I've been affected. Like, I'm a guy that does not watch cartoons. I go to the gym, I work, and I play video games. And I occasionally go on the Tinder date just to satisfy that fucking need. But I don't watch cartoons. So, a little bit of backstory behind this. I was on Netflix looking for something to watch after The Mandalorian. I'm a big Star Wars guy too. I also have an FPS channel, which I'll probably forget to link in the fucking description. Um, if I'm not playing Skyrim for a couple of hours, I'll be playing fucking Battlefield for like an hour or two, or Battlefront. Fuck Battlefront, it's fucking shit. Um, that's kind of how my FPS channel started. But so I ended up watching The Last Airbender, and it's familiar to me because I remember being a teenager when I was 14, seeing episodes on ABC3 for kids in Australia. Fuck, this makes some weird noises. It's a new mic. I had to get a new headset. My last one died. Anyway, I remember seeing episodes of it. I remember seeing the episode with the Snow Princess. Funny enough, fucking whoa, this microphone's too close to my face. Funny enough, I remember the Snow Princess from the movie. The movie actress who plays that Princess Yu is actually the voice actor for Asami, which is pretty fucking cool. But anyway, so I remember watching Avatar, seeing that episode where Sokka fell in love with the princess, and then she had to sacrifice herself. And I remember that scene where Aang had to go meet the face-stealing serpent. I want to do a little shout out to the Dragon Prince right here because the guy that the main character called Callum is voiced acted by the guy that plays Sokka. And there's a little scene to where he looks at the fucking this staff on this like giant animal, and he looks at it and it makes him familiar about something, and he picks up this little like top of the staff, and it's a blue shaped like boomerang, and he goes, "Boomerang?" And it's a cool little nod to that. Anyway, I ended up watching that and I liked it. It was a good story, man. I quite enjoyed it, but I knew it was going to end, and I knew it was based on a single story, so you kind of knew when the Fire Lord was done, it was done. But Korra's story is a bit different. Now, I finished that, and I saw Legends of Korra, and I was like, well, what the fuck's going on here? And I asked my friend about it, and he goes, oh, it's fucking shit, mate. This is like his full-on Australian accent. It's fucking shit. It's got no humour. It's too futuristic. And I was like, yeah, maybe you're right. So I ended up finishing The Last Airbender, and I went straight to the Korra episode, and I was a bit confused why she was a 5-year-old that knew how to fucking bend 3 elements already. She's the youngest known Avatar now, apart from Aang when he was 12. Anyway, but I was a bit confused. And then when I saw Katara, when she became green, I got the fuck out of there, man. I was like, dude, I can't deal with this. One moment she's this fucking 15 or a 14-year-old girl, and now she's got fucking wrinkles, and she's a grandmother. I can't deal with this shit. So eventually I did come back, and it's a really amazing story. People are going to hate the fuck out of it because they hold The Last Airbender too close, or they don't understand people and these characters they're based off. I didn't understand much about. I was like, why the fuck does she know 3 elements and she's 5 years old? She's gifted. Gifted people generally learn things very fast. Things that they can't learn fast, they fucking lose it. As you can see with Korra when she's doing that air plate move, she's gonna move like a moth, and she fucking blows everything up with fire because she just cracks the shits, and she can't learn it, and she fucking hates it because she's learned everything in her life quite easily, and there's something that just will not compute with her, and she just loses it because gifted people are like that, man. They're arrogant because it just comes to them easy, then all of a sudden when something's hard, they just fucking crack under pressure and just explode. Anyway, I love the story of it. I didn't know how many seasons there were. I didn't know when it was going to end, and I didn't bother to look. I didn't want to look. I was really enjoying the series. Season 1, she was so scared of this guy because she saw him take away the bending of somebody, and she's got the most to lose because she's got 3 elements, potential for 4. Eventually, in the end of the season 1, she gets her bending taken away, But to save her friend, she somehow summons airbending. When she becomes just a solely airbender. It's all she can fight with. And in her mind, she's thinking that she's going to be an airbending avatar. The first airbending avatar that can't have any other bending techniques. And in her mind, it's going to be a failure to her. Because, obviously you're thinking, what the fuck? I'm going to be the first avatar in history to only have one element? That's shit. But luckily, their past lives come back. Now, Season 2, I think the end of Season 2 is the reason why so many people walked away. This is going to be a bit of a long rant, so if you want to stick with me, thank you. If not, that's fine. When the past avatars died, so forth they died. We don't know if they did. I think they were disconnected, and I'd love for a story to come back with that. But I think that some people lost their faith because they lost the mythology of the avatar, the past lives, the reincarnations, all that sort of shit. The magic was gone. But Korra lost lost fucking Rava, the spirit of the avatar. She eventually got it back, but she didn't get back the past lives. Season 3, she's almost killed again, almost losing the avatar cycle again. But she's like full on fucked up in this one. Like it takes her I think 6 months to learn how to walk again. She gets poisoned with mercury, and it fucks up her body, and she's crippled. Like she's pretty much disabled for six months. And then she suffers from post-traumatic stress where a version of herself, when she was getting her ass kicked, ends up haunting her all the time. That's when you really start to grow with the character. You really start to grow with it, because you're watching her suffer, and you want to get better, and you want to get better, and you're hoping she gets better, and then she does. And then a couple episodes later, it's fucking done. Now, she did get better, and then I didn't know this. I'm a straight dude. I couldn't see. Then her and Asami went on a holiday, and then I heard the sad music, and it was starting to pan off into the portal. When the camera starts to pan off from the main characters into like a single vision, you kind of know it's going to end. It's that ending formula, and I was like, oh fuck. So I paused it, Google searched, found out. I was like, oh fuck, no way. And then I restarted it, and they walk up into the portal holding hands. I was like, oh yeah, well they're best of friends. Fucking why not? And then they look at each other all dreamy-eyed, and I was like, hold the fuck up. And then they go into the portal. And then I'm left wondering, like, what? And I've typed up Korra and Asami, and I've just, obviously, as Google, the first thing that's going to come up in an unfiltered thing is pictures of Korra and Asami doing the scissors, finger bashing, eating that rug. And then I was like, yeah, that's typical. That's what people are going to, perverts are going to do they're just going to draw pictures of fucking naked cartoon characters, make them lesbian or gay or whatever. But then I saw a picture of them just kissing, and then it was actually fueled. And it was a message by Brian saying, they're a thing, get with it, enjoy it, get over it. Done. And then I'm very thankful I'm a fan of 2001, because I couldn't fucking imagine being like this in 2014, having to wait 3 years from a comic book to pick up where that left off. 3 fucking years. 2017, Turf Wars come out. Now, I was very sad because I missed out on seeing those two like each other. It would have been beautiful to see. So I'm currently rewatching it now. I'm up to season 4, and the sort of doubt and the anger and the fear of it running out again is there. But hopefully when it's done and I've seen it again, I can fuck off and actually properly get my head back in order. So I feel robbed, because when you're watching that character heal, you want to see him heal, you want to see him flourish, you want to see him fall in love, you want to see the best things happen to him. And I feel robbed that we didn't get to see that in a comic book. It's like 3 pages in the fucking portal realm, and it's meant to take place in 4 days. You get 3 or 4 pages of it. And then you get no human emotion really. So pretty much they spend their days exploring, swimming, doing all that, they do that sort of shit. They climb a rock, the rock's a giant spirit, the rock throws them off, they lose all their supplies, they got to go back. And they've been out there for 4 days. And pretty much Asami just walks up and says, there's one thing I really want to do. And then she just fucking makes out with her. Like they've been dating for 4 years. I was like, man, if she's your best friend, and you don't know if she's likes girls or not, and your idea is to tell her that you like her via kissing her, you are going to be shitting fucking bricks. Now, women have a lot better instincts to know if the girl likes girls or not, but still, you can have that doubt in your mind. And you'll be shitting fucking bricks. Like, there should have been some nerves there, and it's like, she just would have had to swallow her breath and just get on with it, after the whole nervous thing. But whatever. I love their love, man. I've said it in previous videos. If you're still watching this, thank you. But their love is magical. They start off as love rivals, but they enjoyed each other's company because, they had, like, I don't know, Korra had her pegged wrong. She thought she was going to be some fancy girl. But they both like getting out and doing dangerous shit. And both of them had 0 girlfriends. Like, there's no background on Asami apart from that her father, her mother was killed by a firebender, and that she trained at martial arts since she was like 5 years old, self-defense. But there is no mention of having any friends at all until she ran into Mako, the big fucking love triangle. And, both Asami liked him, was going out with him. Korra liked Mako, eventually kissed Mako, took Mako away from fucking Asami, and then eventually the next season they break up, and Asami's going to get Mako back. Then Korra comes back and fucking lays lips with him and takes him away again. And eventually they just go, nah, it's not going to work between either of us. And then season 3, they hang out a lot more. They're best friends. They're both gone to the same guy, both gone from the same shit. And they're hanging out. And this is where I believe this Korra Asami thing wasn't happening. Like, I full on still believe that it wasn't happening. They were best of mates. The reason I'm making this video is because this is the sole reason, which I should have really said at the start. I really think Asami fell in love with Korra when she almost died, because they were best of friends. They were hanging out. They were doing missions together. They had a lot more personal time with each other. They could really start to trust each other. There's no longer a boy in the mix of it. It's just those two girls hanging out, being best friends. But when Korra almost died and was crippled, I think that's when Asami really clicked in her head, saying, what would life be like without her? And when you start thinking about that, you start thinking like, you start to realize your true feelings. It's like, did I like being around them, or did I love being around them? Was my time fun with them, or was my time fun because of them? If you get what I'm meaning. And I think she really started to grow attraction to her, really started to care about her more than she usually did, because as soon as she was crippled, man, she was dressing her and wheeling her around, and no doubtly feeding her, and being there. And she was even willing to move to the water tribes to help her heal. And they were only two sending each other messages. Eventually, of course, that flickered. You spending 3 years sending each other messages. You got a lot of time to think about your feelings and put little small hints in your messages. But eventually, they come back. As soon as Korra sees Asami hits on her, says, "Your hair looks nice." And then Korra blushes and says, "You look rather snazzy yourself." But then the shit hit the fan with the Earth Empire. They had no time to react or do anything about their feelings with each other. Until, of course, the Earth Empire thing was done. And then they went on their holiday into the spirit world. They hung out for a few days. They almost got killed. They lost their supplies, and then they kissed each other. And then it was straight to tell Korra's mother. That was just a bit of a stupid thing. That seemed way too rushed. I simply believe they should have used that portal to go back to the water tribes to grab the supplies, and then Korra would have been interested in telling her parents about it. Not like, oh, we're in a relationship because we kissed. The sole reason we're going to the water tribes is to tell my parents because we kissed and now we're in a relationship. Seems dodgy. Could have been like, we need to go to that portal because it's the closest portal to civilization so we can get supplies. And then while you're there, you can mention that you really want to go and tell your parents that something good's happened. Blah, blah, blah. So there still is another comic coming out, and hopefully they get into a bit more of it. I don't like comics, man. I'm not a comic guy. I'm not a cartoon guy. I'm fucking not. But hopefully it gives it a proper ending or something. Now, a little personal information about me. If you're still watching this shit, because I don't know who the fuck would. I'm just rambling. I'm not a guy that cries. I'm not. This cartoon made me cry, man. It fucking did. It's made me cry. I'll sit there crying. The only time I cry, man, is if a dog died. So I had a dog die 3 years ago. Well, 2 years ago. And his name was Tiger. He's my best mate. And I had him for 10 years. When I was 14, you look at images where he's underneath your feet as a little puppy, and then he's dead in front of you. So I got woken up by my mother one day after I told the dog I loved him, because he was getting sick, and I knew he was getting sick. And he was sick a few other times, and I pretty much saw him sick again. I was like, "I'll get you some more pills, buddy." And I gave him a pat, and I said I loved him. And then I went inside, had dinner. This is before I was going to the gym, and I was a big boy, so that's even more backstory for you. And saw her sick, went down, got a Coke, come back up, had dinner, fucked up to my room, played video games. Normally at that time I'd play video games at like 5 o'clock in the morning because I was a fat lazy cunt. Um, and I went to sleep that day. Either I missed out on the chance of seeing him one last time, thinking if I sat up that night playing video games, I would have went to get a Coke and maybe realised he was sick and dying, and I could have been with him. Or the negative thing would have happened. I would have went to go get a Coke and he was already dead. But anyway, I went to sleep. Mother woke me up. She says, "Hey, Tiger's dead." And I've gone outside and looked at him, and you get told this thing, you're like, fuck. I looked at him and I walked around and I didn't show us. I went outside for a piss, like 10 meters from his body. I went outside for a piss. And I sat down with him. I gave him a pat, gave him a rub on the head, and he was already cold. He was suffering from rigor mortis when your body starts to stiffen up after you die. And I sat down and I was just looking at him and I had not shedded a single tear. I just felt normal. And then I rang my brother up to tell him that, my dog had died. And then that's when I lost it. I just started crying, man. I just couldn't hold back. And my brother finally got there, and I was in a fucking, my family's a bit hard, to where we are not soft. And I mix my anger, my sadness with anger, and I'm fucking not to be around when I'm crying, because most of the time I fueled it with anger. And I just got out and I put dints in the fridge. And I didn't break a knuckle, I was just fucking punching the shit out of the fridge. Because I just lost it and I couldn't control myself. And I was just smacking everything that was in front of me. Steel post with I wasn't going to punch it with my fucking hand, but I'd pick up something and just drill into that steel post. And that's something that made me cry. But here I am watching Legends of Korra. And it's making me fucking cry because I missed out on a beautiful love story. It's in the comics for 3 or 4 pages. Yes, it's not a smart idea to put their love as a focus in the comic books, but I want to see it, man. I want to see it animate. I watched the comic dubbed by the voice actresses, and that made me cry, man. I did. Turf Wars Part 1, when they go into the fucking portal, the voice actors actually voice it, and it made me fucking cry. It, dead set, made me tear up. And that's not easy to do. I think I feel robbed that I didn't get to see it. Even now, I feel like I want to fucking cry. But I'm not going to do that, because that's fucking not the place for it. And, I felt like I really wanted to cry when I watched that, and I did. And then you saw there was another little thing where they're at a Comic Con, and I think Korra proposes to her, the voice actress, and that also made me cry. So I ended up joining a Facebook page, and I ended up joining a Discord, and these guys do not fucking like me because they're old fans, and they've kind of lost all hope in any bring back of Korra. I don't personally think they'll ever bring back Korra. I dream that they do. If they fucking ever do, man, if I have a daughter, I'm calling her Korra, regardless if they do or not. But this show has massively affected me. It's like a little key that's unlocked my fucking stone heart. It's a little key that can slip in there and just fucking turn it on and just make me fucking tear up. Because you watch her grow, be this cocky little bitch, and then she gets thrown around the fucking room and she starts to learn fear. She starts to lose things. But she gets back up on her feet even though she gets defeated and eventually wins. But at a very high cost every time. And then just when you think you're hoping for her to find the true love of her life, to have that happy story, the companion, her soulmate, it stops. And then goes in the comic books 3 years later. And it fucking sucks, man. Because shows... you get 5% out of the fucking... 5% emotion out of the comic book. Because it's not moving. And you can't hear it unless, of course, it's dubbed by the actresses. But it's got no emotional value compared to a show. Now, there's no need to go into why it stopped. Because Nickelodeon, it was starting to get really dark and serious in Season 3. And they took it off air halfway through Season 3. Put it online. Before that, they were randomly changing the times it aired. And then Season 4 was completely online. And the creators knew it was done. They knew they weren't getting more than 52 episodes, so they fucking decided to tell a story and walk away from it. And they walked away from it. It has 6 years to do what the fuck they want. I'm hoping one day they'll come back and they'll restart the series for a couple of seasons, and then move on to the next Avatar, which I would like. And I don't really think I want the next Avatar to be a direct descendant or ascendant of Korra. I think I might want a couple after, because I don't know if that's a smart idea, because Korra might issue in like 50 to 60 years of peace. Maybe the next one will get assassinated by the Red Lotus, and then they're hunting for the baby, the Avatar after Korra's reincarnation. Anyway, um, but I mean, I hope they bring it back, because she's such an aspiring hero, man. She fucking is. I'm a white guy that's straight. She's a fucking strong chick. She's fucking head hardy. She's more of a firebender, bro. Like she uses firebender. She uses firebending, earthbending, and airbending more than she ever uses water. Like I think she uses like water like 3 or 4 times. Everything else is just the three offensive elements. Um, but she's such a cool character, and I look up to her, man, because she's a fucking beast. Like she's strong as shit. She can bend elements of the mind, but here she is fucking. she can pick up 3 children and a fully grown man with a hug. Of course, it's a fictional character, but she's such an awesome character. I loved her. I did. And I'm a guy that doesn't watch cartoons, and she's bi, man. Like, dude, how awesome would it be to bi? I'm straight. I got no romantic or sexual attraction to a dude. I couldn't be fucked. Like, I can't look at him and go, yeah, he's hot. I'll go, oh, he's a fucking good-looking bloke. He'd be fucking living a mad life under the sheets. But how awesome would it be to bi? Your life would be so much easier. You know, you'd be able to enjoy all the fruits of life, including the sexual side of it. Like, yep, you can enjoy the fucking body of a female, and then you can enjoy the body of a man. That'd be fucking awesome. But unfortunately for me, if I see a fucking naked man that isn't myself, I don't even want nothing to do with that cunt. You can stay the fuck away from me. But I'm going to try and leave the video here because I've ranted for way too fucking long. I guess I'm just upset and angry that I missed out on such a beautiful love story. And here I am, this fucking 26-year-old guy that doesn't watch cartoons. It's my hope that they will bring back her story, even if it's going to be a story after her death. You know, her being... I dream that they bring her back. You know, they do the Clone Wars redemption, sort of bring her back for a couple seasons or even a season, and tell the rest of her life through that season. And then I'll be ready for the next one. But knowing businesses, they're just going to skip through that shit, jump onto the next, and we're going to hear about her like we did Aang, that she died at a certain age, that she did this and she did that. But I don't mean, I hate past tense. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here. If you're still watching this, thanks for watching. Hopefully, there will still be other Korra content, but eventually I'll end up getting the fuck over it and forgetting about it, hopefully. And, yeah. I hope you guys have a wonderful day in whatever shit fucking side of the world you are and dealing with COVID. Anyway, guys, peace out and have fun.